No man do they call me, my mother and my father, and all my comrades as well. Hey everybody, and welcome to the next session of Growing the Tribe. No man here. And we've gotten to a point in the session, in the adventure, I guess, where there's a bunch of decisions that need to be made, a bunch of kind of wrap-up stuff, but we also have some pretty big and important things on the horizon. Most of you have been here before. You know how it works, but I'm going to go over the rules. Essentially, you guys are controlling Snotius. Snotius the First, Snotius the Great, Snotius the Uncrumpable, who was spored as a snotling and has grown and mutated to become kind of a grot snotling mutant thing. And he's been the main character. Nominally, if he dies, another orc will sprout up, or orcoid will sprout up, and you guys can play as that. And the way we decide Snotius's actions are through the wonderful process known as democracy. I will basically what will happen is I'm going to both take suggestions from chat, but also sometimes things are a little too open-ended, and I will kind of narrow down the choices to like a couple things so that, you know, we don't have 12 different people suggesting 12 different things with nothing moving forward. Hello, everybody. I did see Neil's message early on in the chat while I was out taking care of the dog, so hello to Niels. It is unfortunate that he can't stick around for this, but that's the way of things. People have schedules, and some people need to sleep. But as a refresher, if democracy is too confusing and you prefer dictatorship, you can donate and make something happen. You can also donate to name characters. You can donate to kind of insert something that happened, like, you know, if Snotius, if there's some like little detail you wanted to add, you can do a super chat and add that as well. So any and all donations, of course, are appreciated, but not required to have a good time. If you guys are short on money, do not feel any obligation to donate. We're all here to have a good time, and I'm here sipping on my cider with my Word document open on what the heck is going on for this particular session. So I think the very first thing, let's briefly review what's happened. You guys have overcome Mega Humiopolis, and you are now in the town hall, and you have 3 Humies that are still alive. You have 2 farmers, and you have 1 older guy who looks like he's the mayor. Now, this is sweet cider. This is not alcoholic cider. This is mulled, nice, warm cider. And so the question comes to be, what do you guys want to do with these guys? You can dispose of them, but I think most people wanted to interrogate them. Let's get some suggestions. I assume we're going to interrogate. Is that? Oh, that is important. We've got it's a good suggestion from chat, from both Eric and from Timmy. As Snotius looks over his captives and paces back and forth, considering what to do with them, he turns his head and looks at them, his steely eyes like observing the fear in his captives, as he slowly and menacingly picks his nose. All right. So we are in So, okay, looks like someone's suggesting interrogate and then dispose of. Some people are saying interrogate and then put them to work. Because those Humies are a lot bigger than you are. So they could potentially do things. Smack Pinky after picking his nose. Yeah, like there wasn't any particular reason to smack Pinky. Pinky has been, or not Pinky, Stinky. His name is Stinky. You got me mixed up. Yeah, so you did say Pinky, so it's not my fault that I mixed it up. So you pick your nose menacingly, and you look over, and Stinky is like picking his nose really goofy looking, and he has a big dumb expression on his face, kind of undercutting your nose pick of menace, and you smack him upside the head. Oh, what'd I do? Only I can pick me nose menacingly. Oh, I didn't know that was one of the rules. So thank you, Chapter Master Calinus Vintuli, for the donation. All right, so I think we're going to do interrogate, definitely. What's going to happen after that is up to you guys. So what questions do you want to ask? Some people had mentioned they want to know what the surrounding area is, like get a map sort of thing. Other people wanted to know Humie numbers that are in the area. See, give a map. We got two people want. We got one person map. Two people map. Somebody says floppy them. I don't know what that means. How did you get a city this big? Okay, I think right now we have 3 people saying numbers and 5 people asking maps. So okay. So Snotius walks up and he has a rough scribble that he drew on a piece of bark when he was mapping out the holdings of Snotopia. And he kind of shows the Humies this. You got one of these that show where's all the Humies is? Is there more of ya? You ain't got nothing as big as this city, do ya? And the old man kind of looks around and is like,
actually, we are quite a small settlement. There are many more of us all across the planet. Huge cities, huge hives that sprawl for miles and miles.
And Snottius kind of looks back and forth. What's a mile?
Well, it's like a kilometer, but it's bigger, and there are some people who like to use miles and others.
Shut up! How big is it? Is it bigger than this? And Snottius spreads his arms across. He's like,
oh, yes, quite a bit. I think if you take our entire settlement and you walk all the way across from fence to fence, that's about a mile.
This whole thing is only one? Stop me. So Snottius is kind of getting an idea that Humies have much, much bigger stuff. You got a picture of what's around here?
I think so. There's no way you're going to be able to stand against the numbers that the Imperium has to protect us.
Yeah, whatever, Humie. I've killed everything I'll come across. Don't make me kill you too. So, you guys get a map. It actually dawns on me that I don't have my dice. I might have to make a trip to go get those. Okay, so map. That's one thing you guys have asked about, and you now have a map of the area. I will draw up a map of the bigger area for next time so you guys can see it, and I'll give you like a nice visual aid. But essentially, the map of the local area that he gives you shows that there's kind of like a bunch of farming villages that are kind of spread out, and then they all kind of have roads leading back to a larger town. Okay, so I'll get dice in a second. We can do I can get auto dice from the internet if I need to, but I don't have it set up where you guys can see what I roll. Oh no, someone's internet is dying. Live, internet, live. We've just started. All right, so you guys now know the area. Some people are asking where the gubbins are. You guys kind of know where the gubbins are. You've broken into their kind of workshop, tool shed, garage place. So that's kind of where all of the lootable gubbins are. And there's a lot of lootable gubbins in the town hall itself because there's a lot of communications array stuff. So someone's asked, is this a hive world? This is a world that has hive cities on it. Is everything destroyed and wrecked? No, not really. It's kind of, well, if you ever looked at Armageddon and the way things are set up, like as really rough and polluted and horrible as Armageddon is, there are still like equatorial jungles where feral orc populations live. And that's kind of what you guys are dealing with, is you're just in an area that's out in the boonies. You're just really far away from stuff on the planet. Some of you guys are asking weird questions like, is the Steel Legion here? There's no way that you'd know what the Steel Legion is to ask if it's here. Ask about the Imperium. You guys have, I don't think you guys know. Oh, he did mention the Imperium. That's not a bad one. You could ask about what he means about the Imperium. Any more questions you guys wanted to ask? So we have taking a look, seeing what are we not the first orcoids here? You guys don't know. There might be other orcoids somewhere else. There might be another tribe. You want to ask? Is that a question you want to ask? All right. I'm just going to kind of take. Yeah. So we ask about this. There's hives in this world, and basically the old man says that there are big cities with big military guys who are farther south, and as far as orcoids, he doesn't know what he's like. Snotty's is kind of like, is there anything else that's around here that looks like us? You ever see something that looks like me? And the old man shakes his head. He's like,
I have never seen your kind before. I've only heard of the Green Menace, though be honest, I thought you'd be taller.
I am tall. I'm real big. I'm the biggest one there is.
Oh, then I'm not terribly worried if you're the largest that they have.
I don't know. Do you guys have a concept of a planet? Ask planet name. I don't know if you guys know what a planet is. Punch him. You guys want to punch him for? You want to ask about the Imperium? This has been something that people have mentioned more than once. So, ask who the Humi boss is. All right, people are saying a couple people saying punch. One person says slap. Give him a good punch. You give the old man a good punch to the gut, and he doubles over in pain. The other two farmers kind of like go to help him up. One of them like looks like they're going to start towards you, but like your guys level their weapons at him. You got it punched. All right, let's ask about the Imperium.
You mentioned the Imperium. What's that?
The Imperium spans countless stars and countless trillions of human beings.
Ah, Yumi, that's what you is, right?
Yes, and nothing can stand against the might of the Emperor.
Emperor? Is that the Yumi boss?
Yes, he rules over all of us and protects us.
Did they do a real good job of protecting you?
And the humans start to like protest again, but don't want to get kicked. He doesn't like. Snottius doesn't really understand what he's talking about in terms of stars and stuff. He just knows it's apparently this is really, really big. Ask him where all the good stuff is at. He is the old man is not cooperating with giving out information to help you hurt more people. So unless you might be able to like twist his arm or something. Got someone wants to snap an old man's finger. Ask, do other humans come here often? So, like, yeah, it's not a bad question. We'll loop back to where the good stuff is.
Do other humans come here often?
The old man kind of says,
Oh, no, occasionally. Every few days, maybe once a week. More often when the harvest is in.
so that's what he's got so far. He'll share some stuff. He did give you a map where other Humi settlements were, assuming the bigger mark on the map probably has more stuff. How long ago was the last harvest? Harvest happens in the fall, and you guys are currently in. You guys came out of the ground in spring. It's getting to be summer at this point. Yeah, so you guys are a little. It's a little while before harvest is coming in, but there might still be Humies that come by to do business or something. So what are the Humies growing? He's like, they're growing. What are they growing? What should I decide that they're growing? They're essentially growing space corn, which is basically genetically modified crops that produce a high volume of nutritious but fairly bland food. Basically, it's for making stuff that's like corpse starch. Obviously, corpse starch has some unsavory ingredients, but this is basically like, you can call it something like macro corn or macro starch, something like that. Okay. Any other important questions that you guys wanted to ask? Eric thinks we got what we needed. What is the old guy wearing? He has basically like normal farmer clothes, but he has kind of like a robe of office and like a walking stick. He looks like he was a farmer, and then as he got old and it was hard for him to do all the work, he became mayor. Can they use the metal from the village to make better weapons? Absolutely. There are workshops at farmers have workshops, and they have tools, and they have material. And you guys are mining at Big Cave. You guys know that there are other Humi villages nearby. They're not like super close. Like it's a trek to the next nearest thing. Like as far as it was from Snot-Tantinople to here, it's farther from here to anywhere else close by. You guys want to steal his robe and his shoes? You want to steal the Humi boss robe? You can also harvest skulls. We can. All right. So everyone's kind of going in a couple different. He doesn't have robotic. Did I mention he had a robotic eye the last time? I don't remember. I don't remember what I said about his appearance. All right, you guys take his boss robe. Okay, here's the thing about looting everything and going home. You guys can't loot everything and go home because you have four rafts, and the way you got here was by the river, and the way back is by the river, and you cannot take and loot a semi truck and put it on a raft and take it home. If you want all of the stuff that's here, you kind of need someone garrisoning and running the Humi village. Trucks are busted. The trucks are broken. The Humi trucks smashed into the tractors. They need to get fixed. If you make the Humi settlement kind of an outpost, they might come and attack the Humi settlement and not necessarily know where Snot-Tantinople is. Okay, let's pick out who we want to have stay here, because this is I'm going to remind you of who you guys had. So you had Snotbow. He's running Snotantium. which is where Skull Bull used to be, and he's training commandos over there. DeBrain had been running Big Cave. If you want him to run Hume Megalopolis, or whatever we want to call it next, you're going to have to find somebody else to run Big Cave. All right, so who do we want to give? We also have all of our named guys. We have all of the little dudes. Now, Steve is not full grown though. Well, maybe Steve is. Maybe Steve is grot size at this point, because he did a fair bit of fighting. Was it Furious was at Big Cave? I thought DeBrain was at Big Cave. Oh, did I get mixed up? I thought DeBrain was running. Okay, DeFurious is running Big Cave. DeFast is unfortunately deceased. All right, so we going. Right. You're right. He was trying to fix stuff. So we want DeBrain to run. So we want DeBrain to run the Hume settlement, or do we want Tree Climber? Okay, DeBrain. Okay. DeBrain. Okay, is running Mega Humeopolis, which we can rename also. So are we keeping DeFurious running Big Cave? Or do you want DeFurious to stay with DeBrain? DeBrain, Stinky, and DeFurious stay? Stinky stays with Brain. Do you want to leave DeFurious as well? I think that's a good crew. Okay, I think that makes sense. DeBrain is going to be the boss because he's been the most successful. And DeFurious also got his foot blown off. He got his leg blown off. So he's kind of hobbling around. But he might be another peg leg. Because he's a truck boy also. So we're gonna leave all of the snotlings that came with Stinky as well. So I'm gonna give you guys a list of all of the. I'm going to give you guys a list of all of the snots that are going to be there as well. My thing is being stupid. I'm just rearranging all of the. So that's Stinky and DeFurious. I'm also going to give DeFurious. DeFast's remaining snot. All right, so as far as garrisoning, what you guys have, we got DeBrain, Stinky, and DeFurious. We have Dumbest, Gitflaya, Munchie, Baosnot, Squishy, Snotgrinius, Splatty, Dumber, Squigbait, Mushroomback, Bonky, Fatling, and Snotmer. So that's going to be. Sorry, so if you guys were saying stuff during that. All right, so you guys want Ed, and Eddie running Big Cave? It's going to take a while to get a really big raft, and I don't think it's going to. The river's not that big. I don't think you can float a truck down the river, or even the tractors. The river is big, but it's not that. It's like not really a river. Three Eds for Big Cave? Okay, cool. So Ed, and Eddie, I'm going to combine them. And I'm just organizing this for my own brain. Okay, I got a donation. I'm going to see what it is. In the meantime, Ed's boys are being chased around the fields by squigs that want to munch on their impressive stash of shrooms. Effect, some of the spores are all over the field. Enjoy the population bonus. Okay, thank you, Paul Marzek. Yeah, as you're taking care of stuff and not giving out orders, Grots and Snots are kind of just like derping around. Yeah, one of the squig riders who got shot off, but the squig was still around, is chasing around Double D. So there are lots of spores, and it'll take a little bit before they start popping up. But especially with all the greenskins that have died in this battle, it's definitely been spored. Okay, so Ed, and Eddie, they have Pancake, Zappy, Bone Gnaw, No Snot, Snotball, Pinhead, Gringo, Dorettist, Inane, Longnose, Get Chop, Gittius, Blueskin, Rat Killer, Loot Grabber, and Elder. There's actually not a whole... With Snottius, Snotbow, and Tree Climber are the ones going back to Snotantinople. They have Soggy, Snore Sleeper, Punchin' Bag, Steve, Two Heads, Orc Jr., Lil Wah Boy, and Ape Boy. So not that many are actually going to go all the way back to Snotantinople. Okay, we ready to head back? You guys can loot some tools, but as far as building stuff, at the moment, it's gonna be hard to set up a workshop that's as good as the Humi one for building stuff. At least for a while. Can we hide all the destruction so that passing Humies won't realize there aren't really Humies that are passing by. There's a road that leads into the town, and there's no road that passes through it. There's just a road that goes to it. No one's going to show up and pass through. You guys aren't on the way to anything. You guys can take some stuff back to Snotantinople. There's enough tools. You have basically 10 farmhouses worth of tools. But you're not going to be able to, take the circular saw back to Snotantinople. You can take some stuff back, but the big stuff, which is kind of the best stuff, you can't take back. Okay, I figured you guys want DeBrain to fix the tractors and work on grot tanks. I think that's a pretty good idea. All right, donation from Miles O'Halloran. While we're gone, we have the mine at Big Cave find marble. Yeah, we can have that be the quarry. There could be marble there. I was also going to roll to see if we found any mineral deposits as well. Right now, nobody's at, when you guys kind of pulled all of the snotlings out and all of the grots, there's not really anyone who's running Snotantium or any of, there's just a couple snotlings that have sprouted out, but they, don't have anyone to tell them what to do. So, you know, and there might be some grots that have sprouted too. But there's not like a bunch of work that's been done yet since you guys have been gone. Pegleg is back in Snotantinople, but he can't be everywhere at once. Yeah, Pegleg is in Snotantinople, and he kind of runs things when you guys are gone. But his authority is not super strong, and if a grot pops up and wants to do something different, Pegleg isn't about to fight him for it. Roll for some surprise loot. All right, I'm gonna go get my. Let me go get some dice because we have a couple of things that I want to roll for to see what happens. Give me 1 second, and I will be right back. All right, I got my dice. You guys will be able to hear the dice roll. Can we find some snots to? Well, let's hold on. We gotta get back home before we start public works projects. There's things that need to happen before other things. All right. Also, DeFurious he's going to get himself a peg leg until you guys are making. You guys are still a while away from like making augmetic stuff, making cyborg bits. Maybe if you get a dock, maybe you can take limbs from boys and stitch them on. Okay, this is a roll for surprise loot. You rolled decently. You got a 14. So what's something interesting? Okay. So you actually have a ring that you had looted before, and it had a symbol on it that I think it was like the Aquila, and there was also like a skull. I can't remember what specifically it was. I can't remember exactly how I described it, but because you found it in Big Cave, and you don't find especially crazy loot, but you notice that the old man, the mayor, was looking at your ring. I bet some of you guys can probably figure out what the ring is. If you know Warhammer, you probably know what it is. But the old man does not offer anything, but you can probably. Yeah, somebody guessed it. You notice that he's looking at your ring. That's what you guys notice. Yes, it is in fact a secret decoder ring. Okay, ask him what it does. What does this ring do, Hume? Or it's like, what? Yeah, he looks at it and you kind of like, all right, you know what this thing's for. What is it for? Old guy pretends like he doesn't know what's going on. He's like not telling you guys. You're gonna try to bully him. Some knocking his shins with the butt end of your pointy stick. Yeah, you basically bang on him enough. He's like, all right, stop. I'll tell you. That is a weapon. A very, very rare weapon. And basically, it is a digital weapon. It is a digital weapon, which is basically a ring that shoots las blasts. So even if you're unarmed, you can like have a weapon on you. And he tells you how to use it. Yeah, you have a ring that shoots las blasts. Okay, you guys ready to shove off? You can take like some metal bits, like essentially you can take pots and pans and small amounts of metal that you can carry, like hand tools and stuff. If you want to try to smelt them, if you want to give them the peg leg to try to smelt down, like there's some decent choppas. Like I said, there's a lot of axes and stuff, metal axes and tools. So you guys can like take hand tools and building tools. So you have like hammers and wrenches and nuts, bolts, screws. Shoot debris. All right, Dr. Steelworth has donated. Shoot nearby debris with the ring. You like hold it out. Let's see how well you do. And yeah, there's like a bit of there's like a bit of broken door. Then you just point it and it shoots a blast just like your las rifle does. All right, so I'm taking you guys with I'm basically you guys loot a bunch of stuff that you can pile up on the rafts to take home, which includes hand tools like metal weapons, axes, knives, things that are going to be way better at building stuff. Like I said, the really big stuff you can't take back with you, and some of the tools and things are. Some of the tools are like you can't, like I said, you can't take a circular saw, a saw table, and transport it back to Snotantinople. So you guys have a fair amount of stuff. You leave Brain, DeFast. You leave Brain and Stinky and DeFurious back at Megahumiopolis. They're going to try to patch things up and see if they can get some of the scrap to be usable. So they're going to start messing with that. You guys are going back. It takes a little while of sailing. Let me see if nothing of import happens on the way back. You guys stop off near Big Cave and drop off and drop off Ed, Ed, and Eddie. They're going to go do that. I'm going to go ahead and roll and see if there's anything interesting that is found at Big Cave. So we're going to say that they do have marble, so that you guys can start quarrying out marble. You also have. They're going to keep a hold of 2 of the rafts, unless you object, because then they can ship the rock up and downstream with you guys. They can send that down to Snotantinople. Your guard helmet got wrecked. You had a helmet and it got wrecked. You can steal somebody else's helmet. There's also probably a helmet somewhere amongst the farmers. Like somebody might have been, it was probably a guard. Okay, they can keep the rafts. You guys had one. And then when you guys make your way back to Snotantinople, and then Snotboat takes the last raft to continue down to Snotantium, with his own share of scrap and stuff. With a lot of he takes a lot of the knives back with him for the commandos, and he goes back to finding snots and stuff. Let's go ahead and roll for how many snots have grown up at each place. Actually, yeah. Okay, we got 2 new snotlings over at Big Cave. 2 more snotlings over at Big Cave. And then over at Snotantium. All right, Snotantium, we're going to roll. Snotantium got no new snots sprouting up. That is, in fact, a 1 on there. We are using a pot as a temporary helmet. Thank you again, Miles O'Halloran. Indeed, you are. You have a pot on your head. Can we even read map A? Can we even read maps the stage? Sure. Like I'm not gonna dwell too long on it. You guys drew up a map to represent where things were. Yeah, you can read maps. Orcs have drawn maps before. I'm gonna say you can. If you can build houses, you can draw a map. All right. So basically, it's just Snottius, Tree Climber, Soggy, Snoresleeper, Orc Jr., Lil Wobboy, and Ape Boy, who are the ones who return to Snotantinople. And as you guys return, you see that there are huge mushrooms that have sprouted up in your absence that basically provide complete cover from an aerial view. They provide shade, which is nice. One of you kind of idly bite into one to see how it tastes, and it's sort of like the mushrooms that you've grown before that are like for eating are like soft and tender, and this is like eating a tree. So Snotantium, Big Cave. Let's see how many have popped up in Snotantinople. A lot. There's a lot more snots in Snotantinople, which makes sense. It is the place that's been populated for the longest. And I'm going to say that there are 5 more snotlings in Snotantinople. So 5 snots. Let's see how we're doing on grots. All right, we got 2 more grots that have popped up. I rolled for grots. Oh, don't you backsass me. The other places haven't been around long enough to have grots popping up in them. Not yet. So you have 2 grots. Do we want to name the 2 grots? We can name 2. Do you want Tom and Jerry? Someone has suggested Tom and Jerry. Someone's agreeing that. Someone wants Red Skull as one of them. Red's Skull. Got 3 votes for Tom and Jerry. 1 Noogie Boy. I'm going to give it a second. All right. Single name you hear in my head is Red Gobbo. Steel Legion. All right. What I'm going to do, because I'm going to... So thank you for the donation, Steel Legion Kane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically split the difference between democracy and dictatorship, and I'm going to make there be 3 grots that have sprouted up. One is the Red Gobbo. To Red Gobbo. And then we'll have Tom and Jerry. Because you can't really have one and not the other one. Do you guys want to name one of the... Well, we can name one of the Snotlings Red Shirt 4. One of the... We'll have... So that's 2 grots have been named. And one of the snots that have popped up, we will name Red Shirt 4. Okay, Cameron, we're getting to it. We're getting to it. And as you return home and are kind of putting things back in order, Snottius comes across Pegleg, who is continuing to work on stuff, and you kind of like go to him for a report. And he says,
Well, boss, there's something you need to know about while you was gone. 'Cause, something new popped up.
and as soon as he says that, like a long shadow falls over you. And you turn and look, and you see an orc. It looks like he's been out of the ground for a little while now, because he has a stone. He has a 2 stone choppas hanging from a belt, and he has like he has like bone armor that he's managed to get, and like some hide that looks roughly torn from some animal that he's wearing like as a cape.
So, heard about you. You was the biggest snot that ever was, huh? They say Snottiest the first, Snottiest the uncrumpable, Snottiest this, Snottiest that. And so that's you. You Snottiest. Well, time for you to not be boss no more. 'Cause if you Snottiest, well, let me tell you something. 'Cause I's Orcius.
There we go. Got the name drop in there. So you guys are now facing Orpheus. And I'll leave you guys to decide how you're going to. I assume most of you want to try to fight. Yep, you guys have a flamer. You can try to. You guys would just want to shoot him now. Oh, Eric. Yes. Your donation. I remember this. When the orc popped up. Eric, you tell me if this is what your donation was, because I remember it. You put in a donation to have Snodius accidentally drop his weapon, which has it then go off, and it'll shoot the orc. Is that correct? Eric, is that? I'm trying to remember, because I think that was what it was. All right. And you're so you're like you're a little intimidated by the size of the orc. Like Snodius is pretty big at this point. He's just about 5 feet tall, or whatever that turns out to be in meters, like 1.5, 1.6 meters or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, how it translates. And the orc is like just under 2 meters. Okay, so order of operations. Step 1 is you go, I'm not Snodius. That guy is. And you point at Red Shirt 4, who's just a snotling with his finger jammed up his nose. And the orc just looks at Red Shirt 4, pulls out his choppa, and just brings it down on Red Shirt 4, and he's just kersplat.
All right, so I got rid of that Snodius. Now I gotta get rid of this Snodius.
And he points directly at Snodius. Snodius then throws his gun on the ground. It does go off, and it strikes the orc. The orc takes a las blast to the chest, and there's a big nasty scorch mark. But he is still alive, and he runs charging at him. Well, Timmy, I wouldn't feel too bad. We had a named character who, in the proud tradition of the Red Shirts, all die. All right, so we're gonna roll for initiative. Who's gonna go first? The orc has rolled an 11. Snodius rolls a 2. So orc is coming at you. Yeah, Snodius can have a metal choppa. He can have like an axe. When it comes to a boss fight, if there's a fight over who's boss, generally the greenskins don't take sides until somebody wins. All right, orc coming at you. Okay, So the orc runs at Snottius and chops into his chest area, which Snottius actually was able, because he grew so much, he actually fits the guard armor now. And flak armor is actually pretty good at dealing with like a stone axe. So it does not like cut into Snottius, but he is like the blow is almost like a cannon shot to his chest, and he like is like thrown backwards and is staggered. Yeah, Pogchomp is with you. Attack squigs are kind of acceptable. Like, I think if a boss had his trusty squig with him, or was a squig hopper or something, I think that's acceptable. All right. So what do we want to do? You can try to shoot him with the ring. You can try to fight him in hand-to-hand combat, which I don't know if I'd do that. You can try to hop on. You can try to hop on Pogchomp. You can try to see if your lance will work. Ring. Let's go. We got ring. We got axes. We got Pogchomp. So let's make those the three options. One for ring. One for axes. Ring. 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 Looks like ring. All right. So we're gonna shoot the ring at him. Okay. You aim the ring at him. The orc seems kind of surprised that you are also like damaged by the axe. Like you're very sore in the chest. Like you might have cracked something also. Like you might have cracked ribs. You lower your ring. You guys roll a 13, and you hit the orc in the shoulder, and like again, burn him pretty bad. All right, orc's turn. Okay, he charges up to Snottius again, and he brings down both of his axes on Snottius, and this time he like swings it so hard, he basically shatters the blades of the axe, and in doing so breaks your flak armor just because he hit you so hard. And you go flying. You are. It is kind of like a fight between a little guy and a big guy. Like his ability to just throw you around is impressive. So your armor is destroyed, and you get flung back and go like rolling through the dirt. All right. Are we? Do we want Pogchomp? Do we want more ring? Or do we want to? Or do you want to try to charge him? Just gork it up. You're gonna go try Pogchomp? All right. Hop on Pogchomp. Made the choice, Dr. Steelworth. Thank you for the donation. So you guys are hopping on Pogchomp. Are you charging with the lance, or do you want to, or do you want to swing your new Hume metal choppas? I'll give Pogchomp an attack too. All right, metal choppas. Here we go. All right, you hop on Pogchomp and like start riding towards Orcius, and you swing the choppa at him, and he ducks underneath. And then Pogchomp's going to take a bite at him too as he as he runs past. Pogchomp takes a big chunk out of his leg. So like he like chomps down on him really good. All right, now it's his turn. I feel like I ought to get some. I feel like I ought to get some epic. Let me get some epic fight music going. I feel like I'm missing out on stuff. Let's get some better music going on here. All right, here we go. 1 second. All right, 1 second. I have my headphones on. Let me take this out. All right, here we go. How's that sound-wise? Good? Sounds good. Okay. So Pogchomp chomps down on the orc. Orc is retaliating. Okay. The orc. Yeah. Snottius can't see it, but in the sky there are two clouds, two like dark thunder clouds that have a weird kind of green tinge to them. And you can see both Gork and Mork looking down, and Mork like nudges Gork in the side, or might be Gork nudging Mork in the side. It's not entirely clear.
See, Mork, I told you this is a better plan. Oh, he gets a popcorn.
And Mork, or possibly Gork, goes and gets popcorn. As Mork or possibly Gork might have confused which one was speaking and which one was talking. Okay, so after that, maybe the blessings of Gork and Mork were a little misdirected, but Orpheus basically yells, kicks grabs Snottius, kicks Pogchomp away, and he goes skittering away. He kind of skips, and then he holds up Snottius and bashes his head against Snottius's, and like dents the pot. It impacts Snottius's head. Snottius is getting down to the last bit of his toughness. Like every scrap bit of his strength he's getting to the his health bar is red at this point.
When you gonna learn, little runt? I's the orc. You's nothing but a weedy snot. I'm gonna be boss here.
You know what you guys haven't done? You haven't yelled. Orc looks pretty banged up. You guys have done a number on him. All right, 5 from Lorenzo. Hit him with the old razzle dazzle. Pocket sand and sweep the leg. Then rub some purple stuff on our weapons while we have breathing room. All right, we're gonna try to stall this out. 1 second. There we go. So you kind of fall down into the ground, and he's like looming over you, like mocking and gesturing at you. And you pocket sand. You grab a bunch of dirt and throw it in his face. Like you get him like right in the face, and the orc you get him right in the face. That's a 17, and you like hook your leg behind his, and then pull, and he slips and falls back down into the ground. You manage to get up and start like running away, not to like completely avoid the fight, but to give yourself some space and to poison your weapon. So your weapon's now poisoned. And you're in the edge of your axe. You can't see anymore. The part that you rub purple on, you can't see anymore. All right. So Orc, he's gonna try to get the dust out of his eyes. It takes him like his whole turn, but he gets the crap out of his eyes.
That was that sneaky of you. I'm gonna find you, and I's gonna crump you to pieces. Then I'm gonna take over this place.
If you're getting lag, quit out and come back in. It might fix the problem. It might be that we have a really long chat at this point. Go to where it happened before. Go to the great pit, the great fire pit. All right, Miles and Halloran, you guys loop over to the fire pit, and the orc is coming after you, following you.
No sense in running away. You're gonna get crumped. Ain't no weedy snot grot whatever you is running the greenskins. Orcs is the biggest, so I'm the boss.
All right, so you guys head to the fire pit. All right, so what do you want to? You guys will have the advantage. You can go first. You have some space between you. You're at the fire pit. What are you going to do? Now it's time to chop him. You want to charge him and chop him? We need to do a flaming spear. You can chuck a flaming spear. You can fling snot fire. We got the ring still. You could wait. You could wait for him to charge and then fire as he comes at you. Yeah, you remember your spear. No, you didn't poison the spear. You guys poisoned the axes, I assumed. If you light the spear on fire, probably the poison isn't going to be as effective. All right, we got flaming. I think flaming spear is what people want to try to do. All right, flaming spear. Here we go. I think flaming spear still had the most votes. Okay, you lift up the flaming spear and you chuck it at the orc. And the orc basically snatches the spear out of the air, and he's going to throw it back at you. And he throws it, and it stabs right through Snottius's thigh and pins him down to the ground. And now the orc's is you guys, one more hit and you guys are dead. You guys got one last hit and you guys are dead. You got ring, 2 for ring. 3 for ring, 4 for ring. Ring. All right. So you guys are going to wait until he's...
What's the matter, little runt? You stuck in one place. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You may be bigger than me, but you is only one day old. I lived through everything, killed every monster, killed the humies, butchered them. I fought the big bugs. I fought the river monster. I killed Skullbash and took Skullstanbull. I built Snotopia, Snotantinople, Snotantium, and I took down Mega Humiopolis. if you're gonna take me down. I don't want you to forget the name Snottius. But I got one message for you from the gods. Oh yeah? What's that? Up yours!
And you're gonna take the shot. And you guys. Okay. So, you guys hold up your ring to shoot him, and it fizzles and is out of charge. The orc laughs.
That shiny rotty Yumi thing. Ha! Didn't do you no good. Time to mash that skull into yours.
The orc swings his fist, and Snottius rolls off to the side, pulls the spear out of his leg, and ducks underneath the swing. You guys rolled a natural 1 on using the ring, so its charge is used up. However, the orc rolled 4 to try to hit you. Push him into the fire. You guys have the stick. You want to try to trip and push him into the fire? Two into the fire. All right, into the fire. Here we go. Come on. All right, you guys in chat, you got to give Snottius some power. He's on his last legs. You gotta get some law for Snottius. All right, here we go. I'm gonna re-roll because I got a 10. I got a 10. 10 is not definitive enough. It's like, it was, might have gotten it. So I rolled it and I got a 10. I'm gonna have the dice give me a better answer. Give me a more clear answer. A clear win or a clear loss. Because if this is the end of Snottius, then it's going to be the end of Snottius. And I want it to I don't want it to be because of a weak sauce 10. That was what we rolled. That is a 1. One second. All right. So Snottius goes to he charges the orc and lowers his shoulder and hits into the orc's midsection, and the orc is just way more powerful. And the orc picks Snottius up and is about to slam him into the fire, and Snottius slips out of his grip because this is what the orc rolled. That is a 5 if you can see it. All right, Snottius is climbing across onto his back. This isn't going to be easy. The orc fight is not easy. But nobody's Do you guys want to call PogChomp in on this? Or do you want to axe him? Or do you want to poison? Do you want to go poison axe? We got poison axe. We could also try to have PogChomp try to push him into the fire. All right, swinging with the axe. All right, Dr. Steelworth. This is a boss fight, and I definitely appreciate the donation. But I don't think we can let Snottius win. I think his fate is going to be with the gods. So I'm going to go with the poison axe, going for the decapitation. Thank you for the donation, Dr. Steelworth. Here we go. Snottius slips out of the, climbs down the orc's back. The orc tries to reach behind him and grab him, and Snottius jumps away. He turns around and is coming to at Snottius, and Snottius swings his axe and brings it up and manages to slice through the orc's head, completely decapitating him as his body stands there for a moment before collapsing. And Snottius is just standing there, shaking, and he's bleeding and kind of weak, just from being completely bashed up. And he holds up the head of the orc and holds up his choppa and just yells, "Wah!" And then Snottius holds the head of Orpheus in his hands and looks at him and says, "Don't worry, Orpheus. You won't ever be forgotten. I'm going to make sure there's another orc, and he's going to be named Orpheus. A completely different Orpheus who's not anyway related to this one who died. But for there to be a new Orpheus, the old one's got to go away." And Miles of Halloran, have Snottius slowly push the orc's body into the fire. Yeah, I'm going to have the orc's body kind of comically stand there for a moment as it just stands there. It doesn't fall over, and Snottius just kind of pushes it and collapses into the fire pit. All right, and 5 from Rose Spark. Yeah, you guys have popcorn raining from the sky from somewhere, from some mysterious place. But popcorn of the gods is more like hail. So that big cloud of greenish tinged, cloud that looked like maybe Gork or possibly Mork, hail starts falling from it and pelting all of the grots and snots and Snottius the Uncrumpable. And everyone is yelling and looking for cover. For what I rolled a 12, and I thought that was definitive enough. The orc was very banged up, and I think a 12 is a solid hit. So I think we're going to end it there. Snottius is going to mutate over the night. He's going to grow to be orc-sized. Okay. So Paul Marzek, you go back to the charred remains when the hail passes for a second. You go back out and see the charred remains, and you see a roasted heart in the middle of the carcass after things start to peel away. You stab your spear into it, pull out the heart, and eat it. Then Snottius is going to go rest. And whatever the mystery is, if you hear this message, it means we have not survived. Okay. Yeah, he gets a weird message, a weird ethereal voice in his head. If you hear this message, it means we have not survived. Snottius now earns the name Orc Killer. Thank you for big time donation. from Paul Marzek. You have been very generous this stream. So next session is going to be more running the Empire at this point. He's an Orkling now. He made it, and I think it was suitably challenging. I don't think Snottius got to fight the orc easily. All right. Put the orc's head in the pits, like the fighting pit. Yep, you guys could have, if when he stabbed you through the leg and was like, "I'm gonna kill you," I thought that was the end. I thought you were done. I decided how much punishment you could take. Snottius had to run through all of his armor. All right, we'll pick up. I think that's a pretty good place to end it on. So I want to thank everybody who donated. I very much appreciate it. It was very fun. This was a very big growing the tribe. I think we're getting more and more people who want to be here for these. So, like, that's very cool that these are becoming more and more popular. Anyways, thank you all very much. I think I got some stuff I got to take care of. I'm also kind of hungry. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you all very much for joining me for the stream. And No Man out.